Welcome everybody to this breakout session, which is being hosted by Building Holland in collaboration with the Malaysian Timber Council. My name is Verzorgd and I'm from Building Holland. I am here today with a number of representatives from MTC, as well as a number of representatives from several Dutch companies. So later on, we will hopefully have some questions as well on the topics that are being put on the table here today. But before we go to that, I will very briefly take you through to today's agenda, which will consist of a few items. First of all, there will be a few welcoming remarks from the CEO of MTC, Mr. Muhtar Suali. Then after that, the second point on the agenda is that we will have a brief presentation given by Mr. Tam. And once once that presentation is finished, there will be time to pose some questions. Now we have two people joining us, two types of people who are joining us. Several of you are present in the breakout session. So for all of you who want to pose a question, please, at the end of the presentation, just raise your hand and then we can have a discussion and have time for some questions. For everybody who is not in the breakout session but watching the live stream, you can just use the chat to pose a question. Now, given the time, I'm going straight away to the first item of the agenda. So please allow me to introduce you to Muhtar Suali, who is with us today, who's joining us from MTC. He is the CEO who has become the CEO of MTC in November 2020. Prior to joining MTC, Muhtar was the lead project engineer at Shell Malaysia. He worked there for 15 years. And before that, he was also at, and I'm hoping I pronounced this correctly now, is Perudo Auto Corporation. I'm told that he has exposure with working in the Netherlands and Germany as well. So a very internationally minded individual. And it's my great pleasure to announce him and to welcome him at this table here today. And with that, I give the floor to you, over to you, Muhtar, and welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Marcia, for the welcoming on behalf of MTC. I'm very happy. A very good morning. In Dutch, you mentioned Goedemorgen to everybody, from participants from Netherlands, and very good evening and Salam Sejahtera for all participants from Malaysia. So on behalf of Malaysian Timber Council, I'm very happy to meet all of you today, and it's a pleasure to be addressing this roundtable discussion between the Malaysian timber industry players and representatives from the Dutch building and construction fraternity, comprising of architects, developers, and importers. Actually, many countries in Europe are Malaysia's traditional trade partners, and the Netherlands is a partner we hold in a high regard, as it is the list of top 5 export destination in Europe and the largest importer of certified timbers from Malaysia. And I'm happy to say as well, for our Europe office, we have 5 regional offices, and for our Europe office is actually in Netherlands, in Rotterdam, and Mr. Gopi is our regional head in Rotterdam. Just let me give you a few facts and figures based on our export data here. In 2020, Malaysia's total export of timber products to the Netherlands stood at 94.0 million US dollars, while in 2019, that was in 2020, and in 2019 was stood at 104.6 million US dollars. This dip of 10.01% was expected due to the COVID-19 pandemic that are still raging at the moment and impacting all of us. So much of the products exported to the Netherlands are sawn timbers, moldings, builders joinery and carpentry, or BJC, and furniture, which account for more than 90% of the total export value to the Netherlands. What I would like to assure the forum here is that Malaysia's timber industry players have a high value-added production line. Concerted efforts have always taken precedence in the spirit of creating higher value-added products by embracing technology, innovation, and above all, a sustainable sourced. And I'm also happy to mention to you that the CEO of Malaysian Timber Certification Council, Mr. Yong, is also in this discussion today, in this roundtable discussion. So we are really committed for our sustainable commitment. At MTC, our role is to assist the Malaysian timber industry to improve the industry's competitiveness, enhance market access, and create trade opportunities. We are always looking into ways to assist the industry, and a platform like Building Holland is ideal for this purpose. So I hope the takeaways from this meeting will result in fruitful collaboration from all parties. And I hope after the situation of this COVID-19 pandemic is over, I really hope that I can come back and I can visit Holland again. I was based in Holland for 2 years, back in 2009, 2010, when I was working for Shell. Actually, to be specific, I was in Rashwijk, near to Den Haag, for 2 years at that point of time. So Netherlands is something I think close to my heart, and I hope that once the COVID-19 is over, I can visit Holland and we can discuss how both parties from Malaysia and Netherlands, we can enhance the export and import trades between these two countries. So I don't want to further to prolong my welcoming remarks. Once again, on behalf of Malaysian Timber Council, MTC, thank you very much for Marcia and the team there for having us here today, as well as our stakeholders or our team here from Malaysia. And Mr. Tam will be presenting to you about what we have here in Malaysia, what we can offer. And actually, there are a few other, even the president of few association for our industry players are in this call today. So I really hope that this roundtable discussion will be a fruitful one, and we can see how we can collaborate better and also have a win-win discussion between Malaysia and the Netherlands. With that, thank you very much, Marcia. Over to you.
Yes, thank you very much for those opening remarks. We go now straight away to I think also the main point of this round table session, which is an introduction, a presentation which will be given by Mr. Tam. Let me quickly introduce Mr. Tam to everybody in this breakout session. He is currently a member of the board of directors at the Malaysian Wood Molding and Joinery Council. He has also been the European director at the Malaysian Timber Council in London for 12 years. So I see a lot of European experience. He's going to tell us something about what MTC is doing and their interest, obviously, in this Dutch market. Please, may I welcome to the floor Mr. Tam Sinkau. Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. I would like to first of all share screen on my presentation. Give me a minute. Okay, can anybody see my screen, the slides? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Tam, it's good.
Good,
we haven't seen your screen, but we can see you.
You can see me, but not my slides.
Let me see some.
Do you see my PowerPoint?
I don't see your slide yet. Maybe you quickly want to try one more time?
Open tray, okay. Where is the PowerPoint? Hang on a minute, let me try. Can you see that?
No, we're not able to see that. Nothing. No. Try the same way you tried just now.
Yeah, I'm trying. Let me see.
Sometimes technologies are a fickle thing.
Yeah, it was okay just now. Let me try.
And obviously, it worked just now when we did all the testing. Let's see. Maybe we want to take this time while the presentation starts to maybe tell a little bit more about the company in general.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm just trying.
Just quickly looking at Gopi or Motar, maybe somebody.
Yeah, maybe while waiting for Mr. Tam to come up with his presentation slides, let me just say a few more words here. Actually, under MTC here in Malaysia, we have 6 associations. And let me introduce all 6 associations. The first one is Malaysian Wood Industry Association. The second one is Malaysian Wood Joinery and Wood Molding and Joinery Council, MWMJC, which is Mr. Tam one is from this association or council. The third one, we have Malaysian Panel Products Manufacturer or Association, MPMA. The fourth one, we also have Timber Exporters Association of Malaysia team. Some of them are here actually in this call. The fifth one, we also have Malaysian Furniture Council, MFC. And the other one, we also have the SPECA, Bumiputra Association in Malaysia. So in total, MTC is actually the umbrella for all these 6 associations for timber industry in Malaysia, covering both upstream and downstream of our businesses here in Malaysia. So we have all the industry players under us, and they are actually really producing sawn timbers, producing panel products, furnitures, BJC, wood molding, and so on. So we have a variety of products that we can offer. Yeah. Mr. Tam, are you able to see a screen? Another option, can you email your presentation slide to Gopi?
Marcia, maybe you have a copy, right? Would you be able to try it from your end? Okay, we can see it now.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Over to you, Mr. Tam. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to make it work now. Okay. Oh no. Can you see now?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. Let me. All right. It's okay now?
Yes, I think we're good to go.
Can you see me? Okay. Huh? All right. Just be sure everyone can see the screen. Hello?
Yes. Very good.
Yes,
Very good.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about this technical glitch. Anyway, I'm more used to Zoom actually. But anyway, I'm here to actually talk about from the industry perspective on the legal and sustainable sourcing of timber products from Malaysia. As you know, Netherlands have been buying timber products from Malaysia for a long time, and it goes back maybe even 100 years ago. So when I was in Europe with MTC, of course, we started the discussion on legality, sustainability, and so on. And we have gone a long way, where we have actually now developed our certification system. And we have the CEO of MTCC here today. I'm sure he will add more information later. Okay, first let me talk about sustainable forestry management in Malaysia, just to give you a background of how we manage our forests in Malaysia. You know, Malaysia, we have forest cover of more than 55% still. In Peninsular Malaysia, we have about 5.7 million hectares, which is covering 44% of the land. Then, of course, Sabah with another 4.7 million hectares, and Sarawak with about 7.7 million hectares. So you can see we are still very much forested. Our land use from the land area of the 32.9 million hectares, we have tree cover actually covering more than 73%. And the other area, of course, is for other usage, agriculture and so on. So out of this tree cover, we have a forest area of about 55%, and then other tree crops like rubber plantation, pipe palm, and so on. And from the forested area, we have designated permanent reserve forests, about 79.6% of this area, and the rest actually we are keeping for national park, wildlife, bird sanctuaries, and of course another small percentage, 2.3 million hectares, when we reserve for conversion forest. I mean, it can be converted to other land uses. And out of this permanent forest reserve, we have the production forest of 11.8 million hectares. And this is the area where the timber is extracted, the logging is extracted, and we're being managed in a sustainable way. You can see forest land use, we have a lot of oil palm, also 4.3 million hectares, other tree crops, and forest area of 18.25 million hectares. Now, if you compare Malaysia to other countries around the world, you can see that Malaysia is, we still have a lot of forests. We have 55.3%. Of course, compared to Brazil, it's 62%. But if you compare to other countries like the UK, Australia, China, and so on, we are still a very much a green country, as you can see. So in Malaysia, we manage our forests in a sustainable way. We have been managing our forests since the time of the British were here. So about 100 years of forestry management experience. We do it in a way that's different from, of course, how temperate forest is managed. We have what we call selective logging practices, where we first determine the annual coup for each area of forest concession. They will be deciding how much can be extracted for the year. And before actually going into log the forest, they will do a pre-felling inventory. I mean, the forest department will send in regions to inventorize all the trees, and they will mark only the mature trees that are meant to be felled. And they also mark even the direction where it's supposed to be felled, so that it won't damage other trees when it's cut. After that, then the company will go in to do selective harvesting only those trees that are marked for felling. And after harvesting, after logging, they will go in again to do a post-felling inventory, where they will look at areas and see whether certain areas have enough seedlings or young trees in order to grow back again. Because in the way, when we take out the mature trees, we open up the gaps in the forest, and then we leave it for a certain number of years, and the forest will regenerate itself. So, but then if they still feel that they need to have the additional enrichment planting, they will plant certain seedlings and so on to enhance it. And of course, we leave it for about 30 years or so, and the forest will regenerate. Because in tropical conditions, the forest grows very fast. So this way, this way of logging, we still maintain the forest. We don't clear cut in like certain temperate countries where they just clear the whole forest and replant. In this way, we still maintain the biodiversity, we still maintain the forest itself. So elements of selective management system that we practice, we have take quota, we have forest boundary demarcation, we do pre and post felling inventories, we set minimum cutting limits, and we tag the trees and pre-marking where we can identify where the trees are from. And we practice directional felling where they have to cut in a certain direction so that the tree, when they fall, does not damage the other trees. And we have very strict guidelines for harvesting, post-harvest surveys, and also very strict specifications for roads and buffer zone. And of course, we have to protect water courses and so on. So it's quite a comprehensive way of selective management. We also are very serious about conserving our wildlife protection. We have a comprehensive registration on wildlife protection and conservation. We have a network of national park, wildlife, and bird sanctuaries where animals can be protected. And we have set apart, of course, protection forests where wildlife can grow and roam. And we are also members of various conventions, international conventions like CITES, Ramsar Convention, UNCB, and so on. And we have set aside also a fund of 20 million Wildlife Conservation Fund. This is set aside by the Malaysian Palm Oil Council to manage wildlife and preserve wildlife in plantation areas. And we also have what we call a Heart of Borneo Agreement, where we collaborate between the three countries in Borneo, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei, to preserve this area of forest and to manage it in a sustainable way. Now, illegal logging, Malaysia have very tough laws against illegal logging under our National Forestry Act. We have a minimum jail sentence of 1 year if you are caught illegal logging, plus a fine of 500,000 ringgit. Of course, the 1 year can be extended to 20 years, depending on the severity of the crime. And we have already banned the imports of logs and square logs from Indonesia since 2002 in order to discourage any illegal smuggling of logs. And of course, we are stepping up enforcement measures. Instead, we are talking about actually tightening up the laws against illegal logging. Now, in the World Bank report, the WWF World Bank report in 2001, actually it was concluded that illegal logging is actually very insignificant in Malaysia. It's account for only actually less than 1% of timber that enters the market. And another report that was done in 2004 by the American Forest and Paper Association has concluded that actually the NGO allegations of illegal logging, so somehow the NGO report said indicated that as much as 35% of Malaysia harvesting are illegal. So according to this report, it said that this claim is actually very likely exaggerated. And to this figure of 35% have been used by NGOs since about, I would say, 15 years ago. And it have always been around, have never been refuted. But then we have independent reports from WWF who say that actually legal logging in Malaysia is insignificant, accounting for only about less than 1%. So coming to forest certification, as you can see, the world certified forest is about 548 million hectares. Out of this, the world certified tropical forest is 41.9 million hectares. And out of this, our Malaysian MTCS certified forest, the PFC certified forest, tropical forest, accounts for 5.24 million hectares. That means Malaysia have about 12.5% of the world certified tropical forest in Malaysia. So we do have quite a large number of forests that's already certified. Now there are two major certification schemes in Malaysia. One is the PFC, which has endorsed our MTCC schemes, and out of this is 55.14 million hectares, or 47% of our total permanent reserve forest is certified under PFC. We have a small percentage, about 0.64 million hectares, which is certified under FSC also. And these are mainly actually plantation forests. So coming to the exports of certified products, as you can see here, the major portion is actually sawn timber, 46.8% of the certified timber products exported from Malaysia is sawn timber, followed by moldings, about 28.7%, plywood, 8.8%, and the rest. As far as the destination for this, you can see the Netherlands, your country, accounts for the largest amount of certified exports from Malaysia. About 27% of our certified timber products goes to the Netherlands, followed by the UK, about 9%, US 8.5%, and the rest to South Korea, Germany, and Japan. And this graph will show you that our exports of certified timber products have been increasing exponentially since some time ago, since 2002. Now, other than our natural forests, the timber industry is also looking at alternative sources of raw materials to supplement our timber from natural forests. We have, of course, rubber wood from a rubber plantation. Actually, 80% of our wooden furniture is made from rubber wood. And oil palm residue, now increasingly we are trying to use the waste from the oil palm tree, for example, the fronds, the empty fruit branches, the palm oil trunks, and so on, to make into palm oil residue and palm oil products, for example, even plywood, MDF products, and so on. And we have other biomass like canal and also biocomposite materials. So all these are actually supplementing and complementing our timber products, timber from the natural forest. Now, Malaysian timbers are actually exported to all over the world, to more than 150 countries. But increasingly, we are also importing timbers from all over the world because our processing capacity is increasing. And of course, due to the need to conserve and sustainably manage our forests, there's a limit to how much you can timber materials you can get from a forest. So we need to actually supplement and complement our processing sector by importing timbers from all over the world. So we do import from America, Africa, South America, even Europe, for example, or Australia and New Zealand. So there's an increasing mix of timbers that's being used in our finished products. We have American hardwoods, African timber like sapele and okome and so on, New Zealand pine, and veneer and MDF products, which goes into making our engineered flooring products, for example, our engineered doors and our furniture, particularly. Okay, coming to the timber materials and products that you can source from Malaysia. Basically, our timber industry, as you can see, is quite diversified industry. We have various production of products like, of course, sawmill, sawn timber, veneer, plywood, moldings, flooring, MDF, particle board, doors, wooden furniture, and others. So I will just highlight some of the major products that we are producing and exporting. Sawn timber, of course, as you know, Netherlands is one of the largest market for sawn timber from Malaysia in Europe. And we are one of the world's largest exporter of tropical timber. Our sawn timber is actually exported under the Malaysian grading rules, which is a quality control system, which is managed by the Malaysian Timber Industry Board. So the grading rules have different grades like select and better, standard and better, service better, and so on. I think this is to ensure that the quality of the timber is always maintained, and also to match the use of the market to the timber. So these are some of the terms, some of the conditions that our timber is exported. For example, specific whether we can have kiln dry or air dry timber. The moisture content, of course, usually about 14-16%, and we can either be preserved or not. And common sizes, for example, to the Netherlands in particular, is about 3.5 and so on, 8 feet and longer. And we have different species. We have heavy hardwoods like balau, red balau, merbau, and medium hardwoods, including kapo, kempas, growing, and so on. And the light hardwoods, dark red meranti, which is one of the main species exported to the Netherlands. In fact, the Netherlands is a particular market for our meranti bukit PHND, which pinhole note non-defect, which is one of the main market, in fact, that accept this species.
Mr. Tam, at this stage, I'm quickly going to break in.
Yeah.
Because I'm keeping a small eye on time as well.
Okay, right. I will try and speed up.
I see that our lifetime is running out. We can go on a bit longer within this particular breakout session, but our time live online is nearing its end. So
all right, I will just go through the rest of it.
Yes. Are there any final remarks for the lifetime, and then we can continue with the rest of the breakout session once we're off?
Okay, I will just go quickly through the rest. Yeah? Okay, next we have laminated scantlings, which is getting very popular now in Germany and other parts of Europe. And of course, in the Netherlands, we are sporting a lot of finger jointed timber now, which either como or non-como. We have also plywood and veneer, and we are one of the largest suppliers of tropical hardwood plywood in the world. So there are various standards that we conform to and various species. And of course, we are also a big producer of medium density fiberboard, which conforms to various standards. But the main species used for this is actually rubber wood. Moldings, of course, I come from the Malaysian Wood Molding and Joinery Council, and we are a big producer of moldings from various species, which is exported to various parts of the world. Wooden flooring is also a big product that you can source from Malaysia, made from various species, even tropical or even temperate hardwood species. And we have laminated. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Tam, we are going to the end at this stage. So we are going through in the session itself, but our lifetime is unfortunately coming to an end at this stage because there's a next session on the live stream.
Okay,
so no worries. But there will be the people in the call will stay here, but we are rounding this up for now. To everybody who is on the live stream, I'm going to say that you can go to MTC's stand. So any questions you have, anything you want to know, please go to the stand which they've got in the online platform, and you will be able to see everything there and connect with the people from MTC. For now, for the live session, thank you very much, Mr. Tam, and we're going to round that up. Thank you.